What's good, yet, and welcome to Tower of Deception Day 2 or Stage 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and Hidden Chamber 2. So, Stage 6 we're gonna stay with like the same key team as yesterday. And gear-wise what you need to know is we don't have any right side sets. We only have left side ones, and that is pretty much what we have. And yeah. Also for Salazar, he is A5, but what we are gonna do is we're gonna de-equip his artifact, and you see he has like kind of the worst gear to make up for that fact, because sadly I can't unawaken my Salazar, but that shouldn't really play a major role. So now I found that interesting. Someone said this feels like just replaying campaign, and to an extent it really probably does. But let's see if we can. Okay, so they do swap sides. Let's see who's Iona attacking. Okay, so we have to defend this lane, and let's do so. Who do we bring? Let's go with Volker. Volker's always a safe bet. And here we can start with Gluttony. We just bring in Hollow. And we should be pretty much looking quite alright. So what I expect to happen with this tower is that, as far as I can tell, the BP rises by 50k every 5 stages. So obviously start stage is then 500k, and then we end in like the 750 to 800k range, or it does truly pick up, because especially starting from like stage 15 you do get full ancients for clearing them. So obviously very realistic chance for them to kind of like up the ante, up the pace, and also in that case up the requirements. But yeah, like this we have a pretty solid formation. We have our tanks to kind of hold them, Iona to get rid of them, and then anything that does leak gets the full brunt of Wrath, Volker and Idril. But yeah, Iona is doing a magnificent job, and there we go. So this is stage 6. As far as I can tell, stage 6 is or 5 to 10. No, 6 to 10. 6 to 10 should be a rendition of chapter 6 of the campaign, just with slightly different stages. Even though sometimes, yeah, stage layout does look the same, I'm pretty certain that at least like placement order or like unit spawn order, whatever you may want to call it, should not be the same thing. Yeah, so reason why we're placing Volker here is to try to block off this lane and help out on this one. Though, looking at it like this, I mean, maybe we can get away with a double healer, because these guys usually hit very, very hard. But yeah, let's see. So we do also obviously want to activate that ultimate. Yeah, okay, so they don't yet hit all that hard. So we can then place down an EJ like that to pretty much cover all the lanes. Iona, just so they don't walk past us, and then obviously finish it off, seal the deal, finish the kill chamber with an Oleg. Alright, once again, same scenario. We just activate Volker. And just in case we put in a Gluttony. You never know. Oh, we're on auto ults. I mean, that works too. besides maybe the one on Oleg. So depending on how good your Oleg's gear is, right? If we're looking at legendary gear, you can probably still do this. You just have to be a bit more careful with your ultimates. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say. So that is stage 7 or stage 2 for the day. Now on to stage 8. Okay, we got the top spawn. Oh, physically. So these guys are magically resistant, which is what this sign is there for, right? Let me move myself out of the way. So these guys are magic resistant, meaning we have to bring physical deeps to truly get rid of them. And what do we have here at the bottom lane? Ooh, these guys are physically resistant. So, hey, it's starting to like heat up a little bit. So it feels like more like a gear dungeon and less than just another day at the office, you know. But yeah, here we can tank, so we can bring in Iona for magic damage. So pretty much nothing really changed, because these guys were always like weak to magic. But the only thing that did change is now you don't really stand a chance at beating them with physical damage when you're not supposed to. This does kind of show like a little bit of weakness in our formation, and that is we have one magical damage dealer in Iona. So Limit Wrath, Gluttony, Salazar. We're probably gonna, for the next stage, take out. We're gonna take out Salazar and bring in Soleil for the case that we do need a bit more magical damage. Once again, beautiful. Everybody is in range, just the way I like it. Yeah, and especially these hits early are important, because that means we can save our ultimate for when we like truly look like we're about to get overwhelmed. Gluttony should eat one of them. So these guys do count as elites, meaning Gluttony can't just eat them. But then, yeah, we timed the ultimate well, and there we go. So, alright, let's go! So, yeah, we get magically resistant on right, magically vulnerable on left. Oh yeah, I did say we wanted to bring Soleil, didn't I? Whoops. I hope this is really more just okay, so here are the basics and how this whole thing works. It's gonna ramp up in a bit, like, you know, tutorial stuff. And then we just bring in 2 healers and we should be good to go. You know what would be really nasty when they do that is when they make them appear on the same lane, you know? Like, yeah, you'll have to bring physical and magical, and even if you bring 2 units, everybody's only like half effective. I think this is also one of the points where if you have a Beatrix or you have a if you have a Nora, you can just slap in a Nora here and she's gonna annihilate that left side. Obviously no need to use Iona. So yeah, Greed's also here twofold. Not only does he provide magic damage, not that much because his gear is kinda terrible, but he also gives us those important slows for example Gluttony not to be overwhelmed. Nice. Okay, that was stage 9. So boss fight and hidden. Alright, there is stage 10. As you can see, full multipliers. We're going to be bringing Volker, Oleg, Vortex, Liam, Hollow, and Iona. So let's get straight into the fight. Let's talk about what's important, what's not as important. And yeah. So the way this works is if this mechanic goes to 100, you're pretty much dead because it's just gonna like kill all of your units. You can probably ignore it, but it feels like you shouldn't. So yeah, this mechanic, he just starts like an AoE wipe wave. If you have something like a Percy, like a Sadie, like a Cornelian, you don't have to worry about this one bit. But if you don't, then you at least have to be somewhat careful. And the reason why we deal with Volker and Iona is because these guys, once they get close to the boss, he absorbs them and gets a massive percentage increase on his, I guess you could call it the charge bar. And yeah, that's why we're activating Iona's ultimate, as well as bringing a Vortex on Volker for survivability purposes. As soon as Iona can deal with the right side, we can take her out. And this Abyssal Breath is kind of like this AoE hit. So that's also why we have Vortex there, so that Volker doesn't die. And then we let him get as close to our core as possible, which is around right here. And then we put an Oleg in front, as well as a Liam. So Liam is going to be able to deal his true damage against the boss in both phases, even if he is magically resistant, if he's physically resistant, if he's resistant to resistances. And yeah, from here on out, it is pretty much just us playing Wave Defender with the left and the right side. So right here, these guys are kind of dangerous, these knife guards, which is why we're activating both Volker's and Vortex's ultimate. Yeah, and that big guy, even though he looks dangerous, he isn't honestly all that bad. We can pretty much ignore him for the most part. And then we're going to use Hollow again to give ourselves some more rage. So now with these enemies closing in, we're going to be using Iona's ultimate. Just so they don't get close and don't give any percentages to the boss man. Here we can once again speed up that ult gain. And here for the top side, same scenario, double ult. There we go. Here we're gonna go with Iona's ultimate early. Bring that rage regen in. And here we can, I guess, slow down time. You see it's like 20% until the boss starts his super move. It's a huge wave of enemies, so we want to increase our block. Want to give us as much magic damage as possible, especially with the slow on Iona. Just so that they don't pass through and give us more charge. And then for Volker, it's also kind of the same thing on her side. So we can fast forward here. give ourselves more ult charge, more ult gain for Liam. We're on 90%, boss is on 10% HP. Here we Volker ult, as well as Oleg ult, and you see, yeah, we're kind of slowly letting people pass. But you see, we are going to be winning before he triggers his phase. And there you go. No wipes, no nothing, no specific damage dealers, no like crazy gear sets. I'll show you all the gear used at the end, but yeah, this is how we deal with with the boss. Obviously, there's a couple more ways you can do this, but hey, it's a Liam strat. But yeah, you can swap out as much as you need. You could bring a stronger physical damage for the left side. You could bring a stronger magical damage for the right side. Make of the strategy whatever you want. You can also completely defend in front of the core against the boss and just dump on a lot of damage. Like for example, when he's magical resistant, he's gonna take damage from the right side. When he's physical resistant, he's gonna take damage from the left side, etc. But yeah, this was the boss fight. Let's go on to Hidden Chamber stage 2. Okay, so in the stage, here we are. We need to do two things. Stop these guys from dying, right? Stop these cleanser peoples from dying, as well as stop units from running into our core. We're bringing in a hollow for the left side for rage regen, as well as health restoring purposes. And we are going to be doing this on 2x speed because it does take a bit. Here we're going to be using Gluttony. Gluttony's purpose is to stall out so we can gain some more cost and also do a smidgen of damage. It's not going to be a whole lot, but it is going to be somewhat significant at least. Also, he's chunky enough that he can at least take a beating. Once Volker is down, we can activate Hollow for some rage restore. Gluttony is going to use his ultimate again, but it's not going to do a whole lot. Though here we have Volker's ultimate. As soon as we hit that 11 cost, Idril goes in. And right here at this point is almost when you can take out Gluttony, because we need his cost. The reason why we need the cost is because we want Iona down ASAP. Right here to take care of these Skelly mages. Or not Skelly mages, but like physically resistant skeleton soldiers. So activate our ultimate on Iona, let her get rid of them. As soon as that happens, trigger Idrit's ult. And then wait for this last archer to die. Archer dies, take out right side presence, fully start focusing on left side, which is why we bring in Greed and Oleg. So we now have Volker, Greed, Oleg all down on the field. As soon as Greed's first ult goes, that's when we want to trigger Hollow, because Greed is going to get more use out of his ultimates because the first guys are magically resistant. Obviously, you don't have to use Greed, any other AoE mage does. Use Gearsets on your on your magical DPS and your numbers are going to be way higher than this. We just don't have that luxury. So yeah, we're going to be blocking 3 of them with good old Oleg. Let these other stabby units close in. As soon as they do, Volker activates and we bring in Gluttony. Gluttony is just there to kind of stall so that we don't have to block too many units at the same time. And then we can already remove him again and prepare for the right side with double units. So Iona, right side job, take care of physically resistant skeletons. Idrit's job, top, take care of the drow persons. You know what I mean. And yeah, here, as soon as they are dead, we can start using Idrit's ultimate, which should hopefully attack the archers. Get rid of Iona. And there's one of two scenarios. Either your Idra is strong enough so that this guy doesn't die, or he does do so, but that's not something you can allow. So we're gonna have Vortex here for safety. Yeah. Let's see, is our Idra gonna be good enough? Probably not. As soon as Idri gets the kill, bring in an extra blocker. In this case again Gluttony. Because we have so many units that hit so hard, we don't want them all to hit at the same time. So we're kind of like splitting up the block, really. This is also the time you can take out good old Vortex again, because there's no pressure anymore on the right side, and then it's time for us to bring in Wrath. So now we have Wrath and Gluttony, as well as Volker and Greed and pretty much anything else. Just getting through this. And yeah, you can see our Oleg is getting close to dying. And what I've realized at this point is this is pretty much as far as you're gonna go content-wise without gear sets. Like, we've beat the stage without any gear sets, but also it is not gonna work much longer, you know? So yeah, stage 10 tower or hidden chamber 2 is kind of like the cut-off point of how far you can get without having proper gear. But hey, at least we were able to do it. We did it with full stars, and we can get ourselves the full rewards. Also, we can craft ourselves some new materials, or you could, and hopefully get some better gear. But yeah, gear, the whole gear throughout this video used was broken, so left side full set, broken set, right set. You can see around 200% attack on a Wrath with 66% crit damage and a Flux Pendant. Volker, 2 ancient pieces with attack, pretty much just full attack because we're not bringing in inspiration unit, but nonetheless the substats at least aren't anything super crazy, but you do need a level of it. And then we have a Lunacy Visor for some extra block. You just gotta make sure you get those stats better, give yourself a set, and it's gonna be way easier. Outside of this, then we have right here Gluttony. Gluttony is in full HP. Left side also full HP, as well as the extra block. Greed, attack, 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 attack speed, attack percent, crit rate, crit damage. These are the stats. And Heaven's Rage, if you have a Tear of Twilight, if you've got anything big, obviously use that. Vortex, we have attack speed healing, HP with attack speed, HP, HP, attack speed, HP, as well as an Euphoric Orb at +1. No gear on Ein, because we never place him down. Idril, attack, attack, crit damage, attack speed, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. But overall, just go for more attack, get some attack speed. Crit damage doesn't need to be as high. Spirit Siphon is nice, but Idrit's Gaze and a higher artifact is nicer, but this is what we used. Iona, you have again kind of similar things with some attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, some attack speed on the chest, and then nothing special on the weapon, giving us 228 on 100 and 116 at around 220% attack, as well as a Tear of Twilight on 10. She was basically our best geared unit. Then you've got Oleg in HP with defense, HP with defense, HP with some defense, as well as HP and defense in a Bastion Ring on +1. And Hollow, you have attack with attack speed, attack speed with rage, rage with attack speed, some healing effect, and some HP and attack speed. So overall, you can see 340 attack speed, 88% rage, some attack, and then a Tyres bomb. So this is how we cleared phase 5 to 10, and we see each other in the next one. Peace!